Hey, our lesson this week involves equations of circles. So this is if I was going to graph a circle on a coordinate plane, like an x and y axis, I would have an equation to represent that, or to graph that. So the equation is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals radius squared. This looks very similar to the distance formula, so it's kind of like something you've seen before. R is always going to be the radius, and my center point is represented by the variables h, k. So the x coordinate goes with the h, and the y coordinate goes with the k. Alright, so let's take a look at some IXL examples that will use this equation. The first one says, write the equation of the circle in standard form. So the first thing I need to do is find my radius and my center. Alright, so my radius I know is going to be the distance from the center point all the way to the outer point around the circumference. So you could go left, right, up or down. There's several different ways you could count to find the radius. I'm just going to start at 0 and then count all the way across to positive 7. So I can tell that there's 7 units from the center to an outer point on the circle. So my radius would be 7. And then my center is at 0, 0. So that would be where my HK is. Alright, so now I just need to plug it into my formula. So here's my formula again. X minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals radius squared. So I would plug in my 0, 0 for h and k. And then I know my radius is 7, so I'd plug that in for r and square it. Alright, so if I subtract 0 from something, it doesn't change the value of it. So x minus 0 is still just x. So whenever I simplify this, this would become x squared plus, same thing with y. I know y minus 0 is still just y. So this would just still be y squared equals, and then 7 squared is 49. So my final equation, which is what I would type up here in the submit box, would be x squared plus y squared equals 49. All right, let's do another example. Okay, same thing. On this one, we need to find the equation of the circle. So I need to start off by finding my radius and my center. So my radius would be, I'm going to start at the center and then go across. I could tell it would be 4 units. And my center is at the coordinate 0, 5. So that would be my h and my k in my formula. So here's my formula again. X minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals radius squared. So let's plug in our information that we know. X minus my h for the center was 0. My k for my center was 5. And my radius was 4. So if I simplify all of this, I know x minus 0 is just x, so this would become x squared plus y minus 5 squared, you can leave it just like that, equals, and then 4 squared is 16. So my final answer would be x squared plus y minus 5 squared equals 16. Alright, let's look at this final example. Okay, last problem. my radius is only 1 unit, and my center is at -4, +4. So that would be my h and my k. All right, let's plug it into that formula. X minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals radius squared. So I know my h coordinate is a -4. So when I plug this in, I'm going to have x minus -4 squared plus y minus, my k is at +4 squared, and then my radius is 1. So this would be 1 squared. All right, let's go ahead and simplify this. I know x minus a -4, well, minus a negative would become a positive. So this turns into x plus 4 squared plus y minus 4 squared equals 1 squared is 1. So my final answer would be x plus 4 squared plus y minus 4 squared equals 1. So let me just point one more thing out before we go. If you haven't noticed it so far, let's look at the center. So my center was at -4, +4, but when we plug it into this equation, it actually, the equation turns out kind of opposite of what your center was, okay? Because my center was at -4, +4, but when I plug it into the equation, because I'm subtracting those coordinates, it ends up making it opposite. So that's just something to keep a heads up on whenever you're doing these problems. If you have any questions, let me know. I hope you guys have a great week. Talk to you later.